Matt and JD, we are back. This is going to be another King's Indian defense with C5 from JD's opponent, who is his coach and training partner. Take it away, JD.
Yeah, so if you guys watched the other video, I played a nice game in this, and so I had asked him to play a slightly different variation in the King's Indian, and and so this time
Was
instead
that
of
an India
playing
2 reference?
yeah. Instead of playing c5 immediately, delays it with this knight bd7, and we played g4 immediately against this because I mean e5 is still a pretty common response here, and this transposes directly into our repertoire. But now c5 comes, and here we play knight ge2. Again, we want to be able to take back here. We don't want the knight on f3 because the bishop's probably going to be there, and we'd like to have the knight out of the way. So takes, and now a6, and it's clear that Black's plan is he's going to set up some sort of a hedgehog or something of that nature. He's going to try to play b5 and d5 for the main ideas. And yeah, this is, I mean, we already have a comfortable edge. I have lots of casual, comfortable developing moves, but I wasn't really sure about what the plans were in this position. And it kind of turns out that like there's not really a concrete plan. It seems like a lot of our plan is just improve your pieces and take advantage of the fact that Black just doesn't have a lot of moves to make. And I needed to be more aware of some tactical shots because I missed a lot of tactical shots here.
I think, yeah, you're right.
Oh,
It's like a position where you just kind of sit on them a little bit, apply pressure, gain space, create threats, and then see what they do.
yeah. Whereas before, well, I mean, not even before, but usually in these positions, I've just castled, play f4, f5, and like, woohoo, let's try to win. Which
Yeah.
and I just brute force that same idea every time, and it just doesn't always work. So I played rook c1 here, and I wasn't actually sure. I was pretty sure that this was a bad move, but I didn't really know because my intention was to do something like this, and I thought this is probably good for me, right? Probably.
Yeah, this looks
But
good.
it's not totally clear. He apparently thought it was good, so he went e6, meaning that now he could potentially take, and knight d5 here doesn't actually win a pawn, so less good. So of course b3 now, and now rook to
E6 looks
b.
like a big problem for Black, though. You know why? The bishop
What
is
looks like a
already
problem for
on.
black?
E6 looks like a problem. The bishop's already on G7. E6 gets opened up, and now look at these dark squares. There's no E7 pawn. D6 is a huge target, and you have two pawns guarding the D5 square.
I did have something encouraging that my coach told me after this. He said that these lines in the Maroxy, he's like, no good players ever play c5 in this line. Like
Good.
he's like,
Okay, good.
he was like, it's just a bad version of the Maroxy. Like you can't do it. So, but I forced him to do it. So rook b8, which makes sense. Like he would like to play b6, develop this bishop, but if b6 right now, I have e5, and I'm attacking the rook and the knight.
Nice
So
tactics.
one of the few tactics in the game I actually did see. There's some versions of it later that I missed that we're going to go over. So here, castles, and now b6. And actually, I have almost the exact same tactic as I just showed you guys, only I didn't see it. So now it's a bit different. We just go here, takes, knight, where you got to go. You go to one of these two squares. Let's give you this square. And now we get knight e7.
Oh, ouch.
and and we just pick up the rook. And it's not much different if you come here. I mean, we can still go knight e7, and we're going to pick up the exchange.
Yeah, and you could start with knight takes bishop, get rid of your knight that's on e7, and then take the rook next. What I
And
like about this
it,
position is that if you kind of think about flipping the board in your mind, try to find good moves for Black. It's not so easy. Like their pieces are really cramped.
and I think that this theme is likely to crop up a lot. So I was curious. I was like, all right, let's give me a random move and say put the knight on c5. Do I have the tactic now? And the answer is yeah, it still works.
Wow.
Still d takes, still come knight here, still have to move this guy somewhere. And yeah, I'm still gonna be able to come here and take this at some point. And
You can
now
go
I need to,
b4. Yeah, b4, and then I think it
yeah, I need
works.
b4 first, and so this kicks this knight back in the way, and now this comes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this e5 knight c6 idea when there's a rook on b8 is a killer tactic that I need to be aware of. And this is my big takeaways. I need to become more aware of these kinds of tactics, and it makes Black's job like almost impossible in this position. So he played b6. I just played queen d2 because like I don't know. I just went with like regular moves. I thought that this e5 idea didn't make much sense once the rook is off of the light square, but it still does. So bishop b7, normal looking move. And here I'm like, I'm just making moves. I just decided to play here.
I like it. Yeah,
Just
improve the piece, put it on
I'm gonna
d6.
tickle. I'm gonna tickle. Not really any plan. I'm just, a friend of mine was talking about that sometimes chess is a lot like a tennis match. And you just hit the ball back and forth. And like, it's not like when you're playing tennis that you have like some plan you're going to set up in 8 shots later. You're just hitting the ball back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is kind of one of those positions where I don't necessarily have a large concrete plan. I'm just making moves. So rook b8. And then I decided, let me go put the knight here and maybe have this idea.
Well, and I'm not a
And
tennis player, but I think sometimes in tennis, don't you kind of like keep trying to push them back slightly? Like get them on their heels, get them a little bit out of position, and then when they make that mistake, you go for the kill.
Matt, stick to arm wrestling.
Andre Agassi, isn't he still the world champion?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't know anything about
I think
tennis.
he's
I've
from the
never played
90s.
tennis in my life.
Okay.
So
Stick to arm
98,
wrestling.
I was kind of afraid of this move because I thought f5 was going to come, but I guess and so I was going to play here anyway, and I thought maybe this reduces the chances of f5, and f5 is really not that great. It turns out I can just play here and this way and here, and then I really didn't realize how actually terrible this is for him. It doesn't seem that terrible to
It's
me.
kind of the classic bad f5 when we have g4 and e4 pawns ready to take
Hmm.
on f5 in these kid lines. It's almost never good for black because it just opens up the king. Like that's the big problem.
Yeah, we have like takes, and then the engine even likes this kind of an idea. So takes, and then we just plant this knight on d5. f4 is firmly blockaded. b6 looks a little tough to defend. Actually, we're threatening to win f5 with here
Yeah.
and here.
Yeah, that pawn's dying, I think.
Yeah, so I think we're definitely losing at least, or we're definitely winning at least a little bit of material here.
Look at this.
So,
Oh, that's
oh,
I
oh,
was gonna
oh,
just
oh.
say if f4, it looks
Hmm.
like a fork. Bishop takes f4, rook takes f4, knight takes f4.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So,
Not
no,
worth
no,
the
you're good.
interruption.
So
Edit that out
Bishop.
later, Matt. Tell the editor.
Yeah. So bishop c6 comes, and I mean this idea kind of makes sense. The idea is just to put the queen on b7, but this fails tactically again. This is another tactical thing that I need to be aware of, another idea that I wasn't aware of. And the point is just knight d5 comes.
Beautiful.
And if you take it with the pawn, well, then I just take here, and this is a pin, and I'm winning back. And I've just won a clean pawn, and probably gonna win more than a clean pawn. And so really the best you can do is to play bishop takes, but then I take here anyway, and the queen's got to move, and I can
Take e6.
take e6. I mean, I don't even have to take e6, but I can take e6, and yeah, this pawn's weak. I have access into the c file now. I mean, we're just up clean material, and plus that his dark square bishop, which is a pretty good bishop, and supporting is really important because I mean, black's got to get d5 in, and it's gonna be really hard to achieve that. So again, this is another tactical shot that I didn't see. So I played f4 because I told you I only know one way to play this position. And that's
We need this in a d4 tactics course. This is great.
yeah. So for sure. So again, f4 is my idea, and then he gets exactly what he wants. And so I played b4. My idea with b4 is I wanted to prevent the knight from coming here when I thought it was becoming impossible to defend this pawn. And I have a huge amount of space. And actually, like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm still better here. I basically closed my eyes, threw a dartboard to the chessboard, played that move, and I'm still better. Like,
Yeah. I think what you're doing is good though. You're just trying to improve each piece. you don't really have to rush. Like, even though you've missed a couple tactics, they're still occurring. And black's not really improving their position in the meantime.
Yeah, they're not occurring for that much longer. So
Okay.
b5 gets played. And yeah, I think this is kind of a critical moment that I don't think I responded well here. Or I don't know, it's not clear. So I played c takes, which I wasn't really sure about. I mean, c5 is also a move. But I thought c5 takes, and I got to take with the bishop. He takes back with the knight, and I actually can't because the rook's hanging. Interesting.
I think the way you played it, though, makes sense to me because the knight on e8 disconnects the f8 rook from getting into the game. It's a little bit slow. So
Hmm.
opening things up to me makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I am threatening just to win a pawn, and the only good way I see to, I mean, I don't see any good ways. There was the giving up the exchange way. You could try to play d5,
Oh,
but we
knight
apparently
takes
have,
d5 is available. Another
yeah, knight
tactic.
takes, yeah, knight takes. So wait, why does knight takes d5 work here? Oh, I
C
guess it's because the bishop's trapped. So
yeah.
takes, and the bishop has nowhere to go. And if you were to take with the bishop, well, I can just take, and then you take this guy. I have this fork. I think that's the
Ooh,
point. So more knight d5 tactics. Like this is insane.
reminds me of the Smith Mora. Like you always just throw the knight on d5 even if e pawn's attacking it.
Yeah. So this again, this is so I just took kind of blindly and took back, and I don't know. I played bishop to d4, and which is a bad move, really quite bad because it allows e5.
Knight
Uh,
d5 is playable here. Can we look at that?
Knight
Just
d5 is always playable. You just always I just play knight d5. I mean, when you're throwing darts at the board to pick out your chess moves, you're bound to come up with this, I guess.
okay.
So knight d5, and what's my threat? I mean, okay, fine. Take. Oh, the bishop's still trapped.
Yeah,
The bishop's still trapped. Okay,
huge
let's say you
problem.
untrap the bishop. So you're actually threatening to take.
Oh, then we'll go back to c3.
We just go back. Just go back.
Yeah.
Okay, so we induced mad shuffling is what you just found a way to draw the game. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. I think you could
So
also try to target this pawn, like maybe
yeah, I
bishop.
think bishop f1, queen d3 actually kind of start to make sense. Man, I think we do kind of win the pawn. It becomes, although I think this is an idea.
Maybe we throw in knight d5 at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it works. It always
Yeah,
works.
that'll be the winning move.
So this is when things start to go bad for me because I played bishop d4 again, not really knowing what to do, and so I just traded off. But he takes, and then hits me with this e4, and this is really obnoxious. Like now, I'm not really worse, but I'm certainly not better. Takes here, and I had some outside hopes. He brought the knight into e5. I mean, that knight is beautiful. That knight is great. And if it decides that it doesn't like the e5 square, it'll just go to c4. So
Hmm.
like the knight has like choices for what square it wants to be on.
And you have the
Uh,
bad bishop out of the two now.
I finally played knight d5 for I had an 800 opportunities to do it, and the time I chose to do it, it's kind of a blunder.
Oh man.
Yeah, doesn't work here because it just takes, and then I took back with the rook, and it, it's just no good. Like this, I'm not really accomplishing anything here. I'm not going to take this guy. Like what? It just moves the knight, kicks me out of the way, and brings this knight into e6, kicks the queen, and like it's opened up. His pieces are really active and coming in. It gives a check. I go and hide, brings the queen in super close, and now there's all kinds of threats. Like there's some pretty serious stuff that he's threatening. Like this revolving around these kind of things. I played rook cd1 thinking that I was just going to go try to win this pawn. It wasn't clear to me how bad this was for me. I actually had some ideas of like just trying to push this pawn up the board, or maybe even play knight f5, force a trade, and then get this pawn here. And then, I was still feeling a teeny bit optimistic here. Rook a8, and
h4.
what's that?
h4. I'm a huge fan of queen 6.
Yeah. Yeah. So I take this guy, and this is really here. Hanging a knight. I mean, I hanging a knight, but I can't take it. I got no options for takesies because knight f4 is just crushing.
Oh, wow.
Just absolutely crushing. And I saw that, so I brought this rook here. It turns out it doesn't matter because we get knight g5. It's still hanging this knight. And I mean, yeah, okay, fine, I take it, but it's the same thing. Now it's knight f3, and I mean, I have to play rook takes. Then he gets here, and this is a tough move to stop.
Yeah, you have
Really,
to play
really
knight
tough.
e2, which is a sacrifice, and you're just down
I,
material.
yeah, I'm just down. I'm just down in exchange, and I'm getting pretty well bamboozled here.
So you know what it feels like the main theme was in this game to me is the bishops. Because when you played queen to d2, that was a small mistake, right?
Yeah.
And the idea with queen to d2 oftentimes is let's trade off dark squared bishops. And
Hmm.
then when the dark square bishops did get traded in the endgame, that's what kind of opened you up to the attack on the dark squares. And the remaining two bishops, the light squared ones, he had the bishop attacking your pawn and you had the bishop defending. So it was kind of that combination, I think, of trading these and keeping only the light squared bishop on the board. That like that combination seems to me what got you.
That makes sense to me. I think also missing some of these tactical shots, especially like this. I mean, this like here, just here, and then yeah. Wait. Where did I miss it at? Yeah, right here, immediately, early on. I mean, we're on move 13.
Yeah.
Like, and we've both made what appear to be like pretty standard looking moves. And then again, with all these knight d5 shots, so many knight d5 shots were missed.
Did you ask your coach if he had seen them after the game?
I know that he missed both of the ones that I missed.
Okay.
So I mean, he's a strong player. He's almost 2,500. He's got a couple GM norms, and he missed a couple of these. So I
So
don't feel so bad about missing them, but I definitely need to start building a database of these sort of tactical ideas so I can be more aware of them. And I think that, if you take back the moves that he made, so like, for example, if I take b6 away as a move, if you can't play b6, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you
exactly.
gonna get your bishop out? Like,
Flip
where are
the
you gonna?
board. Yeah, try to play black here. In your mind, just
So I mean,
flip
okay,
the
I'll play knight c5, but now b4 comes with tempo, and you go right back, and
yep.
I've just gained tempo, and now I can play f4, and again, if you still can't play b6, then because e5 still works here, actually, I'm better than e5 right now, but e5 still works
And
once you play
B5 is
b6.
kind of thematic too. Hitting those light squares.
Yeah, I get e5, I get b5, I get f5 now. Like so knight c5 is no good. I mean, you could just play say I mean, you could play rook e8, but then I just continue on my plan of what I like, how I like to play this. And
So even though like strong players don't tend to go into this position out of the opening, it does come out of our D4 course. And we know club level players tend to play the lines in the D4 course because that's how the course was built around the club level. But I think this type of position, like when Black played B6, I think experts and masters OTB are going to fall for this type of idea, this E5 knight C6 combo. So we're 13 moves in, and you could be crushing your opponent OTB at expert plus level, I believe.
well, I'll just say, I mean, I had this. The reason why I felt so inspired to do this is that I was playing my weekly over the board tournament, and I got the white side of this position back here. I got this over the board versus a player who's about a 1950 player that played
Okay.
this.
Yeah. And Stockfish is already saying like zero 0.8 for white.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Quite that game ended in a draw, but again, I wasn't sure. So yeah, this is I think this is great stuff, and I look forward to try to piecemealing more types of understanding, more ideas. But E5 and Knight D5 are two ideas that I need to take more seriously and give consideration to more often in these openings.
thanks for showing this game, JD. A lot of cool tactics. Check out the links in the description. We have courses, chessgoals.com. You can try them for free, and there's a money back guarantee. So if you buy the course, you don't like it, I'll
Is
get
there a
your money
rating
back.
guarantee? If you buy them, do you guarantee rating?
Yeah, you'll gain. Yep,
We could guarantee a rating. I mean, technically, I could just
probably
set
should.
people's
Yeah,
ratings for them. Yeah, we'll
100.
guarantee rating. Yeah, guaranteed rating.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.